Fam Radio Network.
Someone who is supposed to be educated, my mind wasn't expanded enough, to see beyond, just the societal norms and, the fact that all fathers are providers, when in reality, all fathers aren't working a 9 to 5.
John Harper here. Welcome to My Bad, the show about how and what extraordinary educators learn from sharing their own mistakes.
Joe, I looked on Twitter. You and I have connected. I looked at your bio, and I know you do a lot of work with families, and I know you do a lot of work with community and with dads. A lot of times I talk to folks on My Bad, and the mistakes that they share and the mistakes that they make often end up becoming strengths of theirs. In other words, I'll talk to people that are really strong in a certain area, but they made huge mistakes. They're not huge, but big mistakes in areas that are actually their wheelhouse, their strength.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what is the mistake you want to share with us today? And
I would start by prefacing that I worked in education a long time. When I began working in education, I had this stigma, that fathers didn't want to be involved. And, I always saw mothers on campus. And so, efforts to engage and do different things were always geared towards mothers. Activities were always geared towards mothers. And part of it wasn't until I became a father myself and really dived deeper into the work and saw men doing amazing things that I took a deeper look into, hey, maybe there's something, maybe outcomes can change if more men are involved and present in kids' lives.
Why do you think it is we do that? Because, I've done that, and I probably still do that more than I should, because a lot of the times when I meet with parents, it's the moms that come. It's the moms that come to the events. And I know, if I'm being honest, there's a part of me that's thinking, why aren't these dads here? What's going on? I mean, these dads need to be here. Something's not right. Are they lazy? Do they not care? And I know that's not the case, but I'm sure that goes through my head at first. And I'm wondering, why did you think that in the beginning?
I would say my first and foremost thought is I was ignorant, right? I was ignorant to the fact that, as an educated individual let's start with the social construct, right? We look at men as, the providers, and they're working. And so, the times that we're providing these things, they can't possibly be available. And so I'm, looking at it from a perspective of, they don't want to come, because they're working. They don't want to come because it's too shishi foo-foo. And, just as someone who is supposed to be educated, my mind wasn't expanded enough, to see beyond, just the societal norms and, the fact that all fathers are providers, when in reality, all fathers aren't working a 9 to 5 and, can be available during certain times of the day. So it really took some out of the box thinking, some approaches to engage, and then looking at different activities outside of the normal PTA, school site council, things of that sort.
Right. Was there something that changed? I mean, was it gradual, or did you have something that clicked that you said, okay, you know what, Joe, you're looking at this wrong. You got to change the way you're approaching this. I mean, you mentioned having kids change things. Was there anything else as well? Or do you think it was having kids or a combination, or what changed your thinking?
I'll tell you what, it was a father by the name of Jason. And this man was amazing. He wanted to be involved, and there was nothing available, right? We weren't offering anything for him to be involved at the level in which he wanted to be involved. And it really, at that point, I remember Foothill Oaks Elementary, more than 10 years ago, where that was the student and the father that changed my perspective when it came to parent engagement and father engagement. And, I wasn't communicating with him right. I kind of talked in a way, the educators talk,
right,
using acronyms and different things and sometimes dummying things down. And this was an intelligent man, who knew what he wanted, just didn't know how to get there. And he opened my mind.
How did you end up reaching him?
A number of different ways. He was really handy, right? And so we looked at some programs, and he was the father that I started my first kind of father engagement thing on campus called Watchdogs. And he became one of the lead fathers in that. And that was my first Pizza with Pops. And he was out there during the valet, handing out these flyers to fathers and doing the crosswalk. And as, parents and moms and dads were. And so he almost single-handedly recruited 100 fathers, right? And we had this Pizza with Pops event, and it was well over 200 people in the room.
100 fathers?
Oh, and that's not even the whole, right? When I say the gym, it was a cafeteria / gym, it was wall to wall, right? And, he spoke, and I, gave him the platform, and I spoke. And at the end of the night, half of those fathers signed up on the spot throughout the year to serve. It's really cool.
Holy cow.
Wow, all this came out of something, and I'm sure it was tough to reflect on that, because like you said, this was an intelligent man. Sometimes we don't speak to people in a language that would make sense to them. It's kind of probably like how I feel when I go to get my car fixed and somebody tells me what happened or what's wrong with it. I don't have a clue. They could be telling me anything, and I really don't have a clue, and I feel stupid when I'm there.
Yeah.
You found that way out of the mistake. What in you? Why didn't you give up on this? Why didn't you? I mean, what made you stop and say, you know what, I got to find a way, because I haven't been.
Well, he would come on campus often, and I remember a conversation where he said, I come up here every week and you guys never have anything for me. Right. By now, you have to know I'm going to come up here, and every week the office is telling me, oh, we don't have anything for you. You come see me. Oh, there's nothing really, maybe you can wait till recess. And, then he's waiting there for 2 hours until recess starts, so that
time it could be doing something, right?
Yeah, being productive, and so that was when, we thought outside of the box. A teacher trained him, and he was a reading partner, right? And he started reading with kids. In the morning he did crosswalk. He was the morning greeter. Now we call it affirmation station, where we have fathers camp out in front of the gate, and they're just saying, hey, have a great day. You can do it, right? You're awesome. Be great today.
I think what's so cool is something, and I know I've already said this a couple times, but something that started off as a weakness, as something that you maybe, something you weren't able to see.
Yeah.
You flipped it and you made it a strength. Because, I mean, when I'm hearing this and I'm hearing you talk about these fathers greeting kids every day, and I'm hearing about a gym packed, I mean, that's not the same school that Joe Smith worked at 10 or 15 or 20 years ago when he first started. So things obviously changed.
Indeed. They did. And I think it takes, when you look at, something as a weakness or, a mistake you've made, to have kind of that inner drive to look at really what is it, right? Why is it not working? And then really just flip that on its head, right? Push the boundaries and expand on whatever work you thought it was supposed to be and make it work for others. And we were able to make it happen. It's really exciting, to date what we're doing. It's just really exciting. My AKA is LineBackerDAD because of all the father engagement that I'm doing. That was an experience from that one father that has changed my life in a major way.
Wow, well, that's powerful, and that's real. And I mean, I'm just picturing the dads greeting these kids on the way in. I'd like to close out. What advice do you have for people listening, for educators listening, that just say, you know what, these parents don't care? And I shouldn't say that, because I know educators listening don't think that, and I shouldn't say it that way. But in other words, we just can't seem to reach these educators. Let me move on to something else. I mean, what do you want to tell these educators?
Though we say that, it's a reality, right? There's still teachers that are saying parents don't care, right? And it's not that parents don't care, right? What practices are we doing that give them a different way of looking at their students' education, right? Beyond PTO, beyond PTA, beyond school site council, lunch, come eat lunch with your kid, like how are we expanding their minds, right? I think we got to look at ourselves, right? A parent that has a 9 to 5, are we offering opportunities that are available to them before work, after work, during school, out of school? It really just takes for us to really look at and change the way that we think in terms of parent engagement, specifically father engagement, just creating opportunities like donuts with dad, right? We call it disguised learning, where we put something fun in front of it, but we really have a hot topic or a talking point, surrounded and that's deeply rooted in academic achievement, student success. So it takes for us to be creative, right? And disguise those learning things so parents really want to be involved.
Man, you've done some great work here, Joe. And I want to thank you for coming on My Bad. And I want to thank, what's that guy's name again? The father? I've forgotten already.
Jason Mott. Jason
Mott. I want to thank that dude for doing all that he did and being relentless and, I guess in a way pushing you to come up with something that's, catapulted you into doing what you do. So thanks so much for coming on My Bad.
Indeed. Thank you very much. This is LineBackerDAD. Check us out.
Thanks for checking out My Bad today. Hope it was as good for you as it was for me. And if it wasn't, my bad. Catch you next time.
This program is produced by Accretive Media for the BAM Radio Network. Thanks for listening.